Alrighty, now I have to see if I can even see where people are. Ooh, I can see that I have had some lovely people joining me. Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, wonderful of you to join us here. Ooh, I can see more people joining, more people are joining, lovely, lovely. We've got like 30 people online right now, amazing. Thank you so much for joining. Ooh, we're 200. Wow, so many of you. I can see hi to Knit Nat No and to Ashley and Tick. Hello, hello, Chloe. Thank you so much for joining on this super, super exciting premiere for myself. For those of you who do not know me, who've never seen my face, I'm Louisa. I normally am at home on our Facebook page where I host live shopping, and also occasionally you will see me host a lovely bingo game for you. But today I'm doing something completely new, completely different. Today I have the great honor to introduce you to our lovely collaborator, to our partner in crochet, so to speak. I will have a chance to chat to the wonderful Projectarian, who is the mastermind, the designer behind our cowl that we launched last Thursday. So many of you have probably seen it. We launched our Underwater Tails cowl, which is an amazing crochet along that you get to participate in. And we are so, 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 so happy to have gotten a chance to work with Projectarian, who is an extremely accomplished crochet designer of mostly beautiful nature-inspired amigurumi who have incredible detail and incredible textures and a very, very whimsical, magical color palette. So now you know kind of what you get to look forward to with our amazing cowl. And I am now going to try and add Jessie from Projectarian to this live so that she and I can have a little chat about all things crochet, all things cowl, all things Hobbii. So bear with me. This is my first time doing this, so I'm going to try and add Jessie to this call. Oh, she's... Oh, let's see if it worked. Did I send out an invite? I think Jessie should now be getting an invite to join this live. Ooh, I can see something happening. Hello.
Hi. I
Oh
can't
my
see
God.
you. I can only see myself.
Oh, I can see both of us on the screen. So now I don't know what to do. For me, I'm above you slightly and just adjusting
I
the
just
camera.
have a black screen above me.
I think that should be me. Oh no. I mean, I can see you perfectly, so at least that is working for sure. Maybe someone on the chat, can you let us know if you're seeing both of us? Yes, Elise is saying she can see both of us. So
Okay.
she can for sure see both of us, and we have 340 other lovely people with us.
Wow,
So,
hi everybody.
so welcome. I'm so, so, so glad we're doing this, and I'm so grateful that you agreed to come on our live and have a little chat. And I'm very, very excited. I've also, for the last few weeks, the Cal has been sort of the talk of the town here at Hobbii. So very, very excited that we finally got to launch it and share it with the world. And I imagine that you must be thrilled as well.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you for having me.
Of course. I think a lot of people have joined, and I see a lot of people saying that they can see both of us. So I hope
Okay.
maybe, I don't know, I can try maybe turning my camera on and off 1 second.
Okay. I think I'll do the same.
Okay, I turn my camera on and off, and I can still see you, so.
I can't actually even press the buttons.
Oh.
Oh well.
Uh,
I mean, I guess we can make do. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
okay,
So
well, there is something.
okay.
Wonderful. And I can see we've had lots of lovely people join us. So what I thought we could do is just have a little chat, and I think it makes sense to start with you, of course. So maybe you could just, for those who haven't met you before, introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us about who you are. Who is Projectarian?
Okay, well, hi, my name is Jessie, and I'm the designer of all the patterns at Projectarian. It's my brand. Um, I am obsessed with crocheting in a very real sense, in The sense that that is all I do all day, every day. I work all hours. I'm a workaholic. I love my job, and I can't believe that I get to call this my job. So that's basically like most of my personality is I'm a crochet designer, and that's what I do all day.
That sounds amazing. I mean, I definitely hear you about loving what you do and kind of having found that passion. So that's extremely lucky. Um, so
Yes.
I guess the next logical question then is, since you've just said that being a crochet designer is sort of your main personality, is then what led you to become one? So how did you pick up crocheting? Like,
Well, when I was very young, my grandmother tried to teach me and it didn't go well. I just wasn't interested at all. And when I was about, how old was I? 24, I think. I was busy on a project. I was making actually a unicorn swaddling blanket for one of my friends who was having a baby. I was sewing it. And I asked my mom for ideas on how to make the horn, and she was like, "Well, why don't you crochet it?" And I'm like, "I don't want to learn how to crochet. Doesn't interest me at all." And she was like, "Just give it a try." So I was like, "Ugh, okay." So she showed me how to do it, and I don't know, at that time when she showed me compared to when my granny tried, something just clicked, and I just instantly like it just clicked with me, and I just naturally got the hang of it, I guess. And I think that's what got me to fall into such a deep obsession with it, is because it comes easy for me. I don't have to try very hard to do it, so I can do it by myself without help, you
yeah,
know?
I I relate to the granny story as well, because I had a similar encounter where my grandmother decided one rainy day that maybe she could try to teach me how to crochet, and it did not stick at all. And I actually didn't get into it until I started working at Hobbii, and then suddenly it all fell into place, and it was
It just has
a
to be the
birthplace.
right time in the right
Yeah,
place.
it was, yeah. And then since then, I've similarly to you, I guess, become somewhat obsessed about
That's
it, and
awesome.
I can see also that there's Ashley on the chat agreeing with us, saying that she can relate to that story as well. So
So it's
I,
not just us, it's kind of like a rite of passage is Granny tries, it doesn't work, and then when we're all grown up,
yeah,
it
it
kind
seems
of
that
falls into
that's the way
place.
for many people. Um, so then, since crocheting is sort of your main thing, do you like do you have other things you're very nerdy or passionate about, or is it just mostly crochet
Um,
nowadays?
I have lots of different crafting hobbies. I'll be honest, I don't get a lot of time for them because I am such a workaholic. And you know, when you own your own business and you work from home, you just feel like you need to work all the time,
Mm.
kind of thing. But when I do take breaks, I have lots of crafting hobbies. Like I love sewing and sculpting, and lately I've been learning to play piano. And then
Ooh.
besides for all of that, I love scuba diving. So whenever I take a holiday, I'll go away with my husband, who's a fisherman, and he will fish and I will dive. And so, yeah, those are my
Oh,
my leisure activities.
that that sounds amazing and also inspiring, I guess. Since we are talking about an underwater themed crochet project,
It's very fitting.
it's perfect, and it's like, and yeah, I love, generally speaking, your sort of crochet vision and the very like nature inspired motifs and stuff. So I
Thank
guess
you.
how would yeah, so sort of how did that come about? Was that sort of after the unicorn horn you fell very naturally into that, or did you experiment and just find that that was what you were the most into, or
I started off designing, well, not even designing, just making things for babies
mm,
because all of my friends and family members were having babies at the time, but it was always animal themed because I don't know, I've just always been into like animal themed things. And I guess there came a point, like soon after that, I started actually designing, and then I decided I wanted this to be my job. You know, I
mm-hmm.
wanted to earn money from this, and then I just kind of started experimenting with like, um, I think what I really wanted to do was actually garments for kids and babies and stuff, but it was hard to like I didn't have anybody to fit them on, and I didn't know how to do size grading and stuff. And I think that's how I kind of fell into amigurumi, because it was like the next best thing,
Yeah.
because it was still animals. And I'm glad it went that way, because obviously it's been fun, But yeah, that's kind of how it ended up going in that direction.
Yeah, I totally. Now that you said that, I immediately went, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because with if you make a little animal, a little plushie, it's a sort of one size fits all
Exactly.
kind of deal. So you don't have to worry about what if the baby is born very very small or very chunky, and then it doesn't fit right
Yes.
and all that. So no, that's super lovely. And I do think that animals make great like gifts for children, just to again encourage like a curiosity about the world.
Yes, I agree.
Um, yeah, so I guess that kind of already actually leads into sort of what I wanted to talk about next, which is sort of your path as a crochet designer. So going from just an enthusiast to making it your business, making it your career. Sort of what initially sort of drew you to wanting to design your own patterns, and yeah, how did that happen?
I think because I've always been like a creative kind of person, I think it was just naturally going to happen that way, where I didn't want to be copying what other people had already done,
Hmm.
by following patterns. I was making things that had already been made, and I wanted
Yeah.
to make new things. I wanted to add something new to the world. And so also because, especially because I wanted it to be my business, I wanted to be creating original designs, obviously, so that I could call them my own.
Yeah.
So naturally it was just going to go that way.
That's super nice. And I mean, I definitely would say that you succeeded in creating something that's very unique. I've already
Oh,
seen a few
wow.
people in the chat
Thank
also
you.
saying that, seen a few people in the chat like really highlighting that to them you're a designer who makes sort of like something that they've never seen before, that's like very stands out from the rest, I would say. And I definitely agree with that. I've been looking at some of your designs, obviously also in preparation for this, and so I would say that you very much succeeded in, yeah, building a very
Thank you so
unique,
much.
unique,
That's an
very
amazing
whimsical brand.
compliment. Mission accomplished.
Exactly. And like I can see like someone in the chat is also saying it's very inspiring to hear that, yeah, that like urge to create, I think, is a like very real, yeah, very real thing.
Definitely.
um and we've talked already like a little bit about like nature, and so sort of your inspirations, and I'm curious to hear more about that, sort of your, yeah, what inspires your designs, what inspires your creativity, what gets you going creatively.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I've always been into like animal themed things. I love animals. I mean, animals are adorable. They're magical. They're amazing. Who doesn't love animals? Um, and I also have a huge love of classic Disney characters, like the classic old Disney animations like
Oh,
Bambi and stuff like
yeah.
that. So I think when I'm designing something, it's always drawing from those two things. I want to make animals, and I want to make them recognizable in that when you look at the animal, you know what it is because the proportions are correct for that animal.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it needs to be cute. So I don't know if I nail it, but I'm always trying to go for like that classic Disney level of cuteness. That's my goal. I don't know if I ever get it right, but that's what I'm always going for.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Do you have like a favorite animal that sort of that you've already made, or maybe one that you've always been meaning to and just haven't gotten around to? That's sort of your.
Yes. So I can't think of the word of what you would call the thing that you're aspiring to, but in my head lives a pangolin, a giant pangolin, and I bought the yarn for it years ago, and
Mm.
I know what I want this animal to look like when I make it, but I don't think I have the skill or the time at the moment.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of like building my way up to being able to design the pangolin that lives in my head.
Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds amazing. And again, sounds like something that's going to have a lot of very intricate details to get right
Definitely.
for it to be
That's what makes it so
recognizable.
intimidating.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely don't shy away from like a challenging project, obviously. So,
No, not at all. I love it. So there always has to be a balance between me going crazy with something that is insanely huge and detailed and time consuming compared to like what kind of patterns do people actually want? Like for me, Luna the lemur, which is actually behind us over there, she's sitting up there. She's like the most advanced, difficult, insane pattern I've ever designed. And it turned out that it was not the best idea as far as making a pattern that everyone can, participate in. But I had to try it to see like what is the limit of like what do people want
mhm.
out of patterns. So I do have to restrain myself sometimes and not go too wild with the like intricate little tiny details and things because you obviously want to write patterns that a lot of people can enjoy and you don't want to like strain your brain trying to follow a pattern. You want to have
Yeah,
fun.
true, true. Yeah, it would be a shame also for you to invest all that time and then for it to essentially become a one-off. Like you created it, but then yeah, no one
Yeah.
ends up making it. Yeah, I did see someone on the chat just now saying that they made the lemur and really enjoyed making it. So I do think that
That's amazing.
you
There were
you
definitely a few people, but you had to be like a special kind of crazy. So it's like this little the secret club of Luna the Lemur makers, and we're all mad.
just like yeah, like a secret society.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's asking, I think Angelica, or no, Angelic Baby is asking if one wants to make the lemur, where would they find the pattern?
You can find all of my patterns at my website. It's called Projectarian.com. And pretty much the first thing you see when you arrive is my pattern categories. All of my patterns are there from the free ones to the paid ones. Everything's there.
And a lot of very, very cute designs.
Thank you.
And Desiree is saying that Luna is still in pieces in the room and is not assembled yet, but
You can
so
do it. I believe in you.
and then someone else is saying that Phoenix the Fox is one of their works in progress right now, so another of
Phoenix
yours.
with me as well. I've got Phoenix behind me over
Oh,
here.
I love your little like menagerie of like little creatures just keeping you company in the background.
Yeah, it's nice to look at them every now and then. So I like having them behind me.
They're so sweet. I did see someone's question earlier on the chat, which is actually also sort of the next thing I wanted to ask you, which is kind of overall the design process. So how does it work? I mean, you already said that you need to like kind of keep in mind to not maybe go too intricate or too detailed so that no one can follow you anymore. But just the general process of how does one become a crochet designer and how does one actually design crochet?
That's a lot of questions in one. um,
We have time.
well, okay. So speaking from my experience, how do you become a designer? Um, I would say, in my opinion, the most important thing is to be original, like be a voice and not an echo. So take the time to figure out what your voice is, what you can contribute to the world that nobody else can. I would say that's step one.
Yeah.
And then as far as like the process of designing a pattern, I don't know if it's the same for everyone. For me, it's like I have a running list of animals that I want to make or just things that I want to make. And then kind of, when an opportunity comes up of like, now it's time for me to decide what I'm making next, I'll see like, well, how much time do I have for my next project? And, what can I fit into the slot? And then I'll go through my list of my things that I want to make. And after I've picked something, then I will first go and check what already exists. What patterns are there for this particular animal? Because, there's hundreds of fox patterns in the world. So we don't necessarily need another one. But what if we added one that was completely new and different and special? So I like to go and see what is already out there and how can I add something that is new and different to all of the others. And so that's where I start. And then as far as like the actual designing and construction, I will start with the most detailed piece of the animal. I'll have an idea of like what size I want the animal to be and kind of like, do I want it to be like a small, stiff little amigurumi? Do I want it to be a big floppy one? Do I want it to be fluffy or not? That kind of thing. And then from there, I'll pick the most detailed feature of the animal, and I'll start by making that, and I'll make it as small as I can
Mm-hmm.
because that dictates the final scale of the finished animal. So
Yeah,
I'll start with like the smallest, most detailed bits, and then build on from there.
that makes a lot of sense. And then I suppose from there it's then building onto the rest of the animal and then figuring out well, I suppose everything else.
Yes, so it's a ton of trial and error. So, to any aspiring designers out there, it is a ton of trial and error. I've been doing this for 12 years now, and I still have a lot of trial and error. So don't feel bad if you don't get it right the first time. And it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work to write a pattern. So that is normal. And yeah, so it's like you will be recording your pattern as you're writing it, and then obviously I will format it into a PDF document, and then it will go to my testers. I have an amazing team of testers. I actually have two teams of testers, and
Wow.
they're amazing. They thoroughly, thoroughly check my pattern to make sure that it's perfect before it gets
Mm-hmm.
published. And yeah, so that's about the start to finish of writing a pattern.
And a lot of experimentation in the middle. I
Definitely, yes, a
yeah.
lot.
I especially love your use of textures as well as colors. I think the like sort of very magical color scheme is just again something very unique. But I was looking a lot at your I think 2 years ago the like Year of Fur
Oh,
projects that you
yes,
did
yes.
for a lot of the like and I just yeah I love the idea of sort of a platypus and then just being really really fluffy and sort of those kinds of yeah aspects of your designs which again I think are very very unique for that
Thank
because
you.
mixing like I think when we think amigurumi a lot of times it's very you pick one yarn and you stick to it kind of it's made from cotton or it could be made from chenille or it could be made from a like fur fluffy yarn and I love that you really like yeah have this beautiful mixture of those combined with each other a lot and so then it makes it despite being very magical and whimsical, it makes it extremely lifelike or realistic in that again because the details just pop out more.
Yeah,
So,
so it's really nice to be able to play with texture. I did that Year of Fur because I personally hated working
mhm,
with fur, and but I loved the way that the result,
yeah,
the way it looks in the end. And I was like, no, there has to be an easier way because, like, it's bad enough following a pattern when you're making fur, but designing with fur is a nightmare because you have to keep unraveling,
yeah,
every time you trying to figure out the shape of the thing you're trying to make. So, long story short, I figured out the better ways, and then I spent a year trying to get everyone else as excited about fur as I was because now I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed. I want to make everything with fur and I want everyone else to know that it's actually not that hard and it's easy and fun and it's cool if you just know the way to work with it. So that's why I spent that Year of Fur just publishing patterns that were all about fur and the different ways that you could add different types of fur. It's not just furry yarn. You can actually add fur fibers to a finished amigurumi and like all these exciting techniques. So I was excited enough to spend a whole year doing that.
and the results are stunning. So for all of you who in the chat who haven't seen them yet, I highly recommend that you go and check out like projectarian.com and check out some of the like designs there because yeah, they're extremely unique and just very very lovely. Um, What would you say is your favorite aspect of the whole design process? Is it seeing the final result or is it seeing someone else finish it? Or do you have sort of a moment that's for you is like the, yes, this is why I keep doing this kind of?
There are so many amazing moments that make it like completely insane that I get to call this my job. Like everything you
Mhm.
mentioned is amazing. It's wonderful. It's awesome. Like yes to all of the above, but also I mean, the whole process from, um, the fact that I have to research what the real animals look like in order to replicate them. I get to like look at pictures of a baby platypus
Oh,
as my job, you know. So when in moments like that, I'm like, I can't believe that this is my job, you know. But I love picking colors. That's really fun. I love designing eyes. It's one of the best parts. Um, of course, a launch day is extremely fun because all the hard work finally comes to fruition. It's also really nice, like when we're testing a pattern with my test team, you know, to get to the point where we finished the test and we can like celebrate a little bit and I can hand over the finished pattern to them and be like, thank you, you helped me make this. Now, here's your copy to keep, you know? And yeah, it's really awesome to see the finished projects that come out. I love seeing different color combinations that people make because I personally would love to make all the different colors, but I don't have the time. So I love
Mhm.
to see everyone else coming up with different color palettes, and I kind of like live vicariously through them. But yeah, there's so many magical moments through every single pattern. It's hard to just pick one favorite.
Totally understandable. Um, we talked about fur and fur not being your favorite until you discovered the way to do it. Do you have sort of favorite yarns that you kind of keep coming back to, or do you just want to try everything and just challenge yourself anew every time, sort of? Or
I definitely love trying new yarns. I've been having the best time trying Hobbii yarns because
oh,
you know, Hobbii isn't really available in South Africa. So, you know, when I got to meet Hobbii and start working with your yarns, it was like a whole new universe opening for me. That was amazing. It's been a lot of fun trying all the different things, and I have lots of projects planned with different Hobbii yarns. So that's been so cool. Um, as my favorite, I always gravitate back to acrylic just because locally in South Africa, some of the best quality yarn that we can get commercially is acrylic. So I
mhm.
just love using it. We have a huge range of colors and they're really good qualities, and that's just what I enjoy the most. I would say my least favorite would be cotton because it hurts my fingers.
Mm.
But I will also say that since I've been using the Hobbii Friends cotton, that's actually a really nice one that I don't mind using. Like it doesn't hurt my fingers. So yeah, I would say acrylic is my favorite. I always navigate back to that, but I'm definitely enjoying trying new things.
Nice. um, I think, yeah, I kind of, since you now said that you've now sort of more recently also started working more with Hobbii yarns, I think I'm gonna ask a little bit about sort of the whole process of coming together with Hobbii for this collaboration for this
Mm.
cal. Um, this is the first time for like maybe also some people in the chat don't know that yet. This is the first time that Hobbii are doing a Amigurumi cal, so
So
it's
excited.
also very like new and exciting for us. And so I think the first thing is maybe there's some people in the chat who love to crochet but who've shied away from amigurumi for some reasons in the past or just haven't given that a try yet. What would you say, Jessie, is your like best? What's the best thing about doing amigurumi? What's your favorite sort of part of that? What draws you to that specifically the most? Or what would you say to someone who hasn't tried it yet? Why they should definitely try it?
Well, for me personally, it kind of gives you a new perspective on the original creation of the animal that you're trying to replicate. And there's always like this realization of how miraculous their natural design actually is. So for me, like that's the hook
Mm-hmm.
with amigurumi. Um, I think it's different for everybody. And anyone who hasn't tried it yet, I would say, you know, just overall, it's extremely rewarding to be able to start with a thread of yarn and end up with a character that has a personality, you know, even if it's an imaginary one, it's like this whole fully fledged character that has, you know, an expression on its face that you personally created with your own hands. And I think that in itself is just magical and amazing, you know, that by following a pattern, you can make this amazing thing. And I think it sets it apart from like garments and blankets and things because amigurumi I mean, let's face it, amigurumi is toys, and toys are magical and they're nostalgic and they exist for our pleasure, and our entertainment and, for our children to have magical adventures with and make stories. And do we need more reasons?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I think it's a very, very well put, and I could see a lot of people on the in the chat agreeing with you, saying that it's very rewarding to just do it for the for the lovely result that maybe isn't a sweater that you wear many times, but instead is just a little friend that you've created with your
Exactly.
own hands.
Yes.
And then also someone is asking about the pufferfish bag in the background, which is also one of your designs.
Yes, this is my most recent one. This is my one that went viral, so I'm very proud of it.
It is so cute.
Thank you. Yeah, for some reason, just everybody loves this thing, and I'm so glad they do because it's so fun. It's like one of those really like quick, easy, satisfying projects that you can like whip it up in a few hours, but it's also useful because it's a bag. So like it's a little drawstring baggie that you can put your small items in if you don't want to have them like floating loose in your bag. So you can put it inside your bag or clip it outside your bag, or you can wear it. I like wearing mine. I'll like clip it to my belt or something. And I just think it's the cutest thing.
It is. It is so
It's functional
nice.
as well.
That is the best. That is the best kind of thing. It's when it's cute and then you can have it with you all the time, and it's
Yeah.
just it's so nice. So I think a lot of people are curious to know about this Underwater Tales mystery cal that we've just
Ooh.
launched. And I think a lot of people, I think the word mystery, of course, is intriguing.
Yes.
And so I think it is sort of the question of what can we give away about the cal is, I think, what a lot of people want to know.
Wow.
So
We can say that obviously it's amigurumi, we know that, and it is actually a reversible amigurumi, meaning that you can actually flip it inside out, and it has a different creature on each side. So that makes it really special and unique and fun. And then the other secret that we're allowed to spill is that each creature is an aquatic animal. And personally, these are two animals I've been wanting to design for ages. They've been on my to-do list for years, and I'm so excited to finally get to them. And we can give away their names as well. So the one's name is Gumdrop, and the other one is called Juju.
and they come with a very adorable story as well. So they have sort of a lore attached to them already, which I think is a really, really fun sort of little, yeah, little teaser for everyone.
Yeah,
um,
so you can read that on the blog. I'm sure I saw it posted on the blog.
yeah, it is. It was definitely, yeah, it was posted as part of on the Hobbii blog. It was posted as part of the sort of meet the either the Q&A. We have two blog posts about the cal currently on our blog.
I think it's in the Meet the Designer one.
It's yeah, it's either in the Meet the Designer or in the FAQ. It's there's definitely a cute little story there for people to read, or at least the beginnings of a very cute story for people to read and
You
get
should
their
definitely go read it because it's kind of like an intro to the adventure that we're about to go on together. So if you haven't read it, go to the Hobbii website, to their blog section. I'm looking at it now. It is the Meet the Designer section, and read the little backstory.
because I think it'll also, I think, set the tone a little bit for this
Definitely.
again being this very fun and magical adventure that we're all embarking on together, I
Yes.
guess. Um, I think I think one more thing that we can probably reveal is that these are both original patterns, so it's not something that it's not something that people would find on your website yet.
Yes, I designed it specifically for Hobbii for this mystery crochet along, so it's 100% unique.
Exactly. It's and absolutely wonderful. I've been lucky enough to have seen it, so I can tell people that they're in for a treat. Absolutely. Um, I think we've had a lot of people wondering also about sort of the difficulty level. Like, who would you recommend this for? Is it beginner friendly, or to what degree? Or yeah, who would you recommend this
Okay,
for, basically?
so the pattern is rated as intermediate. It's not a beginner level pattern, it's an intermediate level pattern. But um, I have tried really hard to make it accessible for everyone, because that's my whole thing with Projectarian is I try to make all of my patterns accessible no matter what the difficulty rating is. So what I've done with this crochet along is I specifically made a series of tutorials showing all of the skills that we're going to be using in this project. So all of the techniques that you need to know in order to be able to participate. I've made a series of reels on Instagram that you can use to learn the skills and practice before we actually dive in. So you can find that on my Instagram in the stories highlights for the Underwater Tales crochet along. And then the other thing is this crochet along comes with videos. So I have made very in-depth, detailed videos for every part of the crochet along to like hold your hand and guide you through every single tiny step. So if you are a beginner and you are up for learning new things, then you can definitely participate. So I would say go have a look at the reels and practice the different techniques and you'll be ready to go. And if you watch the videos during the CAL, I will guide you through and you will be just fine.
And yeah, I think, and if any of you ever get stuck, we do also have an amazing team here at Hobbii.
Yes,
Our
yes,
customer service are
that as
always
well.
so happy to help you out. We'll do our best, but we have a lot of people here who are crochet aces who will also always be happy to help out if any of you ever get stuck. So I think from the Hobbii side as well, I would say do not worry. If you sort of have the mindset that you might want to challenge yourself if you're a total beginner, I think you'll be able to succeed. We will all together push everyone to success with this
Exactly.
project.
I fully agree.
I think I could see like Kim on the chat is saying this will be their first amigurumi. So very
That's
exciting.
awesome. Welcome to
So
the
glad,
club.
so glad that you took the plunge with us here.
Yes.
I think since it is sort of a mystery cal that will be released step by step along the way, can you give an estimate about sort of how much time one might budget? I know that that is extremely like personal to everyone, because like I am a very slow crocheter, for instance, because I'm extreme perfectionistic. So it takes me a while to get things done. But how did you sort of budget for that when you made the pattern?
Well, it is difficult because everybody goes at a different speed. And originally, I actually recommended that this crochet along should have two parts coming out per week. And Jackie at Hobbii said, no, she thinks we should rather slow it down a little bit and have one part per week. So I think we can say there is more than enough time to get it done at a pace of one part per week, even if you work very slowly or if you don't have a lot of time. For me personally, I work fast, and if I was doing it as like a side project in the evening, it would probably take me about 2 or 3 evenings per part. Probably not even that much. I'd say about 2 evenings per part. So, if you work a little bit slower or you don't have enough time, there's definitely a big time budget in this crochet along.
Yeah, that sounds again, very good also for maybe people who are more beginners, wanting to challenge themselves. So
Yeah,
it is,
so there's time to actually go slowly and absorb everything and understand what's going on.
that's awesome. That's perfect. I've seen some people actually be very curious about the reversible amigurumi aspect of it, and I'm just very curious also to know, how do you design for reversible amigurumi? Because to me, like just like all we talked about with the proportions and the details and getting all that right on one creature seems quite challenging to me. But then the idea of having to do it for an additional creature and then somehow figure out how they merge into each other. So what is the process for that? What is the yeah, how does one go
Well,
about that?
it's not the easiest thing in the world. What makes it easier is if you start off with two models that have a similar shape because logically they would fit better inside each other. But yeah, it definitely is challenging. Like you have to make the project quite simple. You know, you can't have too much detail because you need to be able to flip it. So then there's also, you have to consider like which part of the animal is going to have the opening where it flips. So I usually go for the back end of the animal. That usually tends to work best. There was something else I wanted to say about that. Oh, the other thing, of course, is you have to consider, you know, the creature with all its limbs needs to fit inside the other creature once you flip it inside out, which in the one sense, like you have to be careful that you don't make it too bulky so that it can fit inside. And in the other sense, it's kind of a bonus because you can't stuff a reversible animal. So you can use those limbs and things as stuffing to help keep the shape when you flip it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, I've seen the results, so I know that it is going to be amazing for this project as well. But I can imagine that, yeah, it's just that added level of challenge when designing. And I think sort of piggybacking off that as well, with this cow being released sort of part by part, and then also the overall creature staying a mystery for so long. How did that influence your design process as well? Or did it influence your design process? Did you just, like, how did you approach it knowing how it was going to be released at the end? Did that change anything about how you normally would design, or maybe even the order that you would normally make the amigurumi in versus how it is made in the pattern?
So I've done amigurumi crochet alongs before. So the only aspect that changes with a crochet along is you need to have a project that has enough detail to be a crochet along. You know, it's not a small simple thing that you can make in a few hours because it's a multi-week crochet along. So there's that aspect of the detail in the first place. But besides for that, initially when we were discussing this design, I didn't know that it was going to be a mystery. It wasn't settled yet. You know, I was discussing with Jackie at Hobbii and she said it might be a mystery, but we're not sure. And so I just approached it like a normal pattern because I didn't know it was going to be a mystery. But honestly, I don't think I would have done anything differently because it's like when I'm designing something, I make it in the order that it needs to be made. So I think if I knew it was going to be a mystery, it wouldn't have really changed anything, I don't think.
You wouldn't have like deliberately tried to keep it mysterious for as long as possible or something. I mean, I suppose it
I
comes
think I
together
do
at the
that
end.
anyway. Like
Yeah.
I like to post progress pictures when I'm designing, but not spill too much information, you know. So I'm used to that kind of aspect. So I think this was just meant to be. Probably I've had practice.
um, and since you've already mentioned our lovely colleague Jackie, who is sort of spearheaded this from the from our side and been working very closely with you, can you talk a little bit about just the overall process of collaboration between us and you, and yeah, how did that sort of come about, and maybe also what for this Cal specifically, yeah, like how did that come about? How was it for you? Did you enjoy the experience?
Oh, well, it started off, I was actually in the middle of writing my book.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackie approached me and asked me if I was available for this project. And I was like, yes, I just need to finish my book first. And so as soon as I was done with my book, she was worried that time was going and I wasn't ready. And I'm like, I'm going as quick as I can. And then I'm like, okay, I'm finished. Let's talk about this. And then, yeah, Jackie is amazing. She's like the friendliest, most awesome, sweetest person on earth, for starters. But then it turns out that everyone at Hobbii is like that. I would say my experience collaborating with Hobbii has been wonderful. It's been by far my favorite company to work with because you guys are super friendly, but also like really professional and organized. And I really like that. It's really nice to work with somebody who takes what you're doing seriously, you know. Um, Also, everybody's been so enthusiastic, which is nice. You know, it's nice to all be excited about the event as you planning it. but at the same time take it seriously enough to be organized and be professional. And I really also love the way that Hobbii has gone above and beyond to make this event really special with the, first of all, the scale that it is, but also just the extra little fun things that you guys have planned, like this live event. And I don't know how much information I'm allowed to spill, but there is other fun stuff coming up, and there's a few little fun things added to the kit that we haven't really talked about. And I just love the little extra special things that Hobbii has done just to make it more fun and exciting than the average crochet along. I mean, even the gifs or the gifs, however you want to pronounce it, that are
The
on
endless
Instagram.
debate.
If you type Underwater Tales Cal, then there's little custom gifts specifically for this event, and it's amazing. I mean, it's just so far beyond anything I've experienced with any collaboration before, and I love Hobbii with my whole heart.
Oh, I hope I can speak for all of us and our kids when I say that we love you too. But
Thank
no,
you.
truly, it's I think it's such an exciting for our first Amigurumi Cal. I think it's amazing that we went with such an exciting project, and yeah, I can't wait for all of you out there to see it as well, because it is just phenomenal, and I think everyone that is participating is going to have the best time on this. Honestly, yeah. I think, yeah. Has there been sort of a standard, or what was your favorite maybe thing about this particular Cal, either during the design process or during the like collaborative process? Is there some sort of something that sticks out to you?
Um, well, one of the highlights was, of course, like the conception of the project, where I was discussing with Jackie, like, what would you guys like me to make? And she said she would like a reversible amigurumi. And so I went away and came up with a few ideas, and they were all like really fun and cool. And I proposed all of those to Jackie, and let her choose. And then she came back with her pick, and it was just really exciting to like pick out the character that we're going to make, and then decide, what is it going to be, and how is it going to work, and what colors are we going to use. And I think that was probably the most exciting part, is like setting it all up.
And it paid off in a big way. I think, yeah, do you have sort of any, if there's anyone in the chat or watching this, we're going to post this on our Instagram later, and also I think on our Facebook. So if there's anyone watching this who's yet undecided, or maybe ready to take the plunge but just needs to like be nudged in, do you have any sort of words of wisdom or encouragement to that person?
I would say, well, if you haven't tried amigurumi before, this is the ideal time. This is the best chance, because there's going to be a ton of people working alongside with you, this whole community aspect of the crochet along. But there's also a lot of support. So, like, you will have your hand held through the entire process. So, if there's any reservation about maybe not having the skill, or, worried that you're going to get stuck halfway and then waste your time, I would say that's a non-issue, because there's going to be so much support. And yeah, just if you've never tried amigurumi, it's a good time to give it a go and see if it's something that you like, because there's a whole bunch of people doing it with you, and that makes it so much more fun than doing it alone.
Yeah. I agree. I think the community aspect of a crochet along is just a very, very unique experience, and just a
Yes.
very, very lovely way, I think, to challenge yourself to try something new. And like you said, we have, I mean, all of your materials that are going to become available with each pattern. So there's already a huge amount of support that you, like a huge amount of legwork that you already like did to make this as accessible as possible. And then we do have our Hobbii Facebook groups. We have one specifically for these kinds of make along, crochet along projects. We have our regular group. So I think anyone that is afraid that they're going to be going through it alone need not worry. It is the opposite of that. I think it's going to be an amazing community event
Yes,
for
I
everyone.
agree.
Um,
Definitely.
I've been trying to keep an eye on the chat as well, because I see that a lot of you have asked questions, and I hope it is okay with everyone watching that I've kind of decided to maybe have this little chat with Jessie first, and then get to some of the questions. And I can see a lot of them have also been kind of the same questions by different people. So I think maybe we'll just take a moment. I've noted some of them down, and I've tried to remember a lot of them as well. I can see one is up right now, for example, if the kits are all the same colorway, or if there's going to be a selection. And I mean, since you've talked about the color selection before, I think you can probably answer that one.
Okay, so the kit is only in one colorway. I think it just makes it easier that way to just have one selection of colors, and then you don't have to worry that you're going to end up with the one that you didn't like, because it's just a standard one.
Yeah, but the colors are like magical, whimsical. Like, yeah, they fit with what Projectarian patterns are, which is just
Exactly.
these, like, beautiful.
So, yeah, if you know my patterns already and you like my general sense of color, you will love the kit, I promise.
We put different yarns in, but just for those of you wondering, you will get your kit in this amazing bag, which I think just already fits perfectly with the beautiful, beautiful, like, color scheme and theme that we have. So just for anyone curious, you're getting this bag. We put different yarns in, but this, you can expect something that goes with this.
I love the bags. I've got mine with me here as well.
They
It's
are
so
so
pretty. I
nice.
use it like an ornament.
They are so lovely, and yeah, the rest of the kit I also holds like the outside matches what is inside, which is just a lot of very lovely things. I also had a few people in the chat just now asking about using their own stash, using their own yarn. So as we've sort of explained, I think the patterns go through a very big testing process before being released, and so the kit is set together perfectly to give you everything you need for the cal, and it is tested, so we know for sure it is going to work 100%. You can still sign up for the cal on our landing page, which you can find if you just go to our website. You can find it there. You can still sign up for the patterns, of course, and then later on decide if you want to make them and how. We just can't guarantee if it's going to work out. Yeah, we can't guarantee if it's going to work out with other yarns or other combinations. So, but anyone who's unsure, or maybe waiting a little bit, you can definitely still sign up for the crochet along and sign up for the patterns, and then see how you want to go about it. I think, and then there have been some people asking if there's going to be any giveaways associated with this crochet along. I don't know if you.
So we did. Okay, so we did have one giveaway already at the launch of the crochet along, and we are going to have another giveaway right at the end, and it involves finishing your project. So there is an incentive to get all the way to the end and complete your creature for everybody to see, and your reward is that you could win a prize. So that's very exciting.
You can find more information about that also on our cal landing page. So for everyone who finishes, I think it's 10 or 11 days after the final pattern is released, we have a sort of deadline, and we will then ask you to post a picture and share a picture of your finished cal for a chance to win a gift card, a Hobbii gift card. So do check that out. And Chiara is asking if the giveaway at the end counts for people in Belgium too. Yes, for every country that we have the cal in, it counts. So anyone from any country that we have released the cal for is going to be able to participate. So yeah, amongst all of you, we'll find some lucky winners and celebrate everyone who finished, really, which I think is ultimately what matters. And I think it leads into sort of the timeline of the cal. When will the patterns be released? And I mean, we already talked a bit about like budgeting your time, but that was another frequently asked question. So what is the timeline of this project?
So we're kicking off on the 5th of June with crochet, and then there will be one part coming out every week for 5 weeks. So the last part comes out on the 2nd of July. And then it's the giveaway is on the 13th of July.
14th. It's on like it's on the 14th.
Yeah, so you've got from the 2nd till the 14th to finish your last part, which is basically, I don't think I can say. I mean, I spill anything I'm not supposed to. But you have those few days to finish the last part.
Exactly. And as you said, it is doable. And if you don't, then you can still finish it on your own time. I mean, it's just supposed to be a little fun way to celebrate everyone who did manage to finish on time. And I mean, I know I have timekeeping problems, so I will definitely not be finished by the end of the deadline. I know that for sure. But I think it'll still be fine. We've also had some more questions about the kit. I mean, I've already kind of shown the bag once. Like, this lovely tote bag comes as part of the kit, along with all the yarns you need. You get the hooks that you need. You get some extra little goodies that will make your journey more enjoyable. And you do actually, I was told I am allowed to show these, you do actually also get some stickers. I'm going to just hold them up. Which
Oh,
are
we're allowed to show the stickers. Yay. That was one of the things I was talking about that I love, that you guys added that little special something.
They are so cute. I already told Jackie that one of these is going to mysteriously disappear and mysteriously appear in my apartment because these are so cute.
I wish I could see you right now. I would love to see the stickers.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you still can't see me. I've been nodding along as well. Like, every time you speak, I've just been sitting here like, yes. And the whole time you're looking at a black square.
I'm just imagining what you must be doing.
Yes, well, I've been holding up the cute little stickers for everyone to see. And as you've said before, you can actually find those as little gifts on Instagram. So if you want to like spice up your stories over, I know I'm going to, my whole summer vacation is going to have little Hobbii characters popping up because those are just so cute. So I think it's Underwater Tales Cal. If you type that into your the little search bar for gifts, you can actually start adding those to your Instagram stories. And I'm very excited to start doing so myself.
They're so cute. I love that.
But yeah, we've had some questions. I think one was, which I found an interesting question, was someone asked, is the yarn for one or both amigurumis? Which I mean,
it's definitely for both.
Yeah.
You can finish. So the kit contains absolutely everything that you need for the entire project. So it's all of the yarn, it's all of the tools, all of the accessories, and the bag. So you don't need to buy anything once you've got the kit.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it comes with the crochet hooks as well, so you don't need to worry about getting those or any, like, we've included everything. Plus you've got like little goodies that you can't get otherwise. So little exclusive kind of cherry on top. And I've also had the question, seen the question a few times. I've also seen it on the chat now. Someone asking if there's any way to make them detached from each other so that you basically have two individual amigurumis instead of a reversible one. Which, yeah, I think you already kind of answered, but.
Well, I could go into a bit more detail if you like.
Of course.
Okay. So sometimes with my reversible amigurumis, I do actually make a version where it can be detachable and you stuff it and it's just like a normal amigurumi. But this one, specifically because of the way that it's constructed, you can't make it as a separate standalone. It can only be a reversible one.
And it is an adorable one. So if you want two individual ones, you just have to make two. And then you can have one inside out and one outside in. And then you just have two reversible ones.
Just make two whole ones.
I would say. And someone else was asking which stitches one might need to know to make this, because a lot of amigurumi is often single crochet based. Is there any like fun techniques one might either learn from this or maybe should know before joining?
Okay, so There are a few stitches besides the single crochet, but they're also like very common ones, like your half double crochet, your double crochet. Then we also have like a treble and a double treble, which I show you how to do in the pattern because they're not that common. So I show a demonstration in my videos and stuff. And then as far as like other fun techniques, yes, there are. Like you'll see in my series of reels that cover all the techniques from the pattern. We do color changing and I mean a whole bunch of interesting things. There's like 7 different reels showing a different technique each. So there's lots of different fun, exciting stuff to learn and add to your skill set as a crocheter. So yeah.
Yeah, and I can just now see a question from Tantan on the chat, which I think is actually a really good one because I don't know if we've actually fully explained it, but how does a cowl actually work? What is a cowl? Basically, is the question.
Would you like me to take it? Would you like to take it?
Please, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so CAL stands for crochet along, and it means it's an event where everybody crochets along at the same time together. So the way that it works is you have a pattern and it's split up into parts that get released over a period of time. And everybody gets the same part at the same time. So you're all crocheting the same thing during the same period. So everybody gets part 1 at the beginning and you all make the piece that's in part 1, and then everybody gets part 2 after that, and so on until we get to the end of the crochet along and we all have a finished model at the same time. So that's where that fun community aspect comes in, where you're all working on something at the same time. So you're all together in the same thing and, you know, sharing your progress pictures and see what everybody else is doing, and supporting each other and stuff like that. So that's what sets it apart from just a normal pattern and what makes it extra fun.
And then there's, with this particular one, also the mystery aspect to it, where you don't know what you're making until you've finished it, and then it will be revealed what the characters are, which I just, in my opinion, just adds that little extra element of suspense and fun to it as well, because I can imagine then maybe in the community people will start guessing, perhaps, and so I think it's a very, very lovely way to bring crochet lovers together.
Definitely.
And then Ashley is saying, I'm too impatient. I gotta know what the animals are. But we can't tell you, unfortunately. But you will find out on July 3rd if you're a fast crocheter, I imagine. I'm trying to keep an eye out if there's other questions.
I did see one that I wanted to respond to. Somebody was asking, do you need to be careful about running out of yarn with the kit? And the answer is no. So because there are a few different colors in the kit, and you know, for every color we include an entire ball of it, whether you need a full ball for the pattern or not, just meaning that by default you will end up with some extra yarn, so you don't have to worry about running out.
That's a really, really good point. And I just saw another good question about just the release of the patterns. So how it works is we have a landing page. If you go to hobbii.com or your regional, so if you're from Germany, hobbii.de, and sign up, you will actually get a newsletter. So you will get an email from us every week as the pattern is released with the pattern part added on. So you do not need to join us at a specific time to take part or anything. It's not like a lecture that has mandatory attendance.
It's not allowed.
It is very much meant to be, you can work on it in your own time, and just the community is there to help you and to engage with when you want it. So it's not it's not like everybody crocheting at the exact same hour. It's more like the pattern gets released, you get it via email, and you can sign up via our webpage. And I do believe there's also a link through projectarian.com. There's also a post there that also links to the same page. So you can just sign up there, buy the kit if you want to have everything you need in this beautiful bag. I'm just going to hold it up one more time because it's so cute. And then join in, and it gets kicked off June 5th with the first pattern part being released. Yeah, So I think that's good for everyone to know. I hope that there are a few people that we yeah, maybe we're not convinced and now are ready to jump in.
I hope so. You should definitely join our club. Come and join us. It's going to be so much fun.
I think so too. Someone was asking also very early on, I saw someone asking if I was going to make it. I have sort of set myself the challenge that I want to make it, but I know also based just on my vacation time this year that I'm not going to be able to finish it on time. But I do want to give it a chance because I do love the idea of, again, challenging myself as well, because I've also never done like I've done an amigurumi, but it was a very beginner friendly one, so I've never done anything quite as intricate as this. So I'm also
going to challenge yourself a little bit.
yeah, exactly, and
Awesome.
gonna see how it goes. And I can see that Angelic Baby saying I was on the fence, but now I'm taking the plunge.
That's wonderful. Yay! We've converted another member.
And then there are people asking if the kits are still available. Yes, we do still have kits available. They are running out. Well, they are limited quantity, and people have been quite happy to get them. So we do still have some available though. So yes, you can still go sign up and get your kit, including the cute bag, including the adorable stickers, and including everything you need. So it's very, very, very lovely.
So a few people also asking if there is still time. If they order the kit now, will they still get their kits in time?
Depending on where you are in the world, but it's June 5th. It shouldn't be a problem for anywhere that we ship to, as far as I'm aware. I know the shipping times for most European countries are under a week. So, and for overseas, I don't think it shouldn't be like June 5th is how much away? Like 6 weeks. I think if you order now, yeah, if you order now, you should be more than fine.
I know, just speaking from experience being in South Africa, where we have like the worst delivery times on earth. Whenever I get a Hobbii package, it takes like 5 days. It's so quick. So I would agree, there's lots of time.
Yeah, I would say our logistics team is also very, very good about updating the delivery times on the website, which of course, if something goes wrong, it could be a bit longer, but you can kind of use those as a guide. I see Emily saying Australia is about 10 days to 2 weeks. So yes, if you order your kit now, you should be well prepared by the time it gets there. And then I can see that Catswear is saying my kit has already arrived.
Yay!
Yay! I think a lot of Europeans that ordered very early on probably have gotten theirs by now. So then you also
I've been seeing a few people posting their kits, and it's so much fun to see the post and see people unboxing. It's so exciting.
And then it's gonna just go on from here. You're gonna see them unboxing, and then you're gonna see them start working on it, and then you'll ultimately see the final result. So
I can't wait.
Amazing experience. I do think that those are all the questions that I've been I've been seeing on the chat, and I also don't want to take up too much of your time. It's been so lovely chatting with you, and thank you so much for
It's been a lot of fun.
And
thank you
I'm sure,
so much.
I'm sure if there's more question, I hope maybe we'll do this again. Who knows? But
that would be fun. I'm up for it.
So thank you so much, Jessie, and have a great evening. And to everyone else watching, have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be. And I'm going to just do a cheeky little plug. We do have our Facebook live shopping tomorrow on Facebook at 5 p.m. CET, so 5 p.m. Copenhagen time, where it's going to be all about underwater. I have made the entire episode underwater themed as well to honor Jessie's beautiful creation. So we're going to have a lot of beautiful underwater fun tomorrow. So tune in for that on Facebook, and we will try to restream it to Instagram as well. But yeah, so thank you, Jessie, so much for joining, and have a great evening, and goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.